Hello, and welcome back to Severna Republic on the fabled third video. The third video that I've never been able to get to, but I'm learning. Please bear with me. I'm hoping to get obviously better over time. Okay, so what have I done? Right, I've set up most of the most basic things that we'll need to do. So if we look underground here, so just to give more detail in regards to this, so here's my oil pumps going into pumping station here, which then goes pumps it into this, which goes into this, and then this distributes it between the heating plant, which has got its own tank here, so that's totally independent of everything else, and that takes a priority because it's the heating plant. If that stops working, people die. Then the last tank before the export tanks is this one, and this again, we've got the priorities set here, so it will always flow into this before it sends it down here to these tanks. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and that comes out at the port. This water looks very clear. I've not seen it this clear before. Am I tripping? Anyway? Anyway, right. So I've got the basics of an industry here. So if I press play, you'll see my money is going up because we are exporting oil. Even though I've got no citizens, no industry, no nothing, I'm able to export oil. So far, where's my economy? So altogether, yeah, so all the money is, this does my head in. Look, so the actual resources, I've had 24,484 tons of stuff. Altogether, it's cost 1.9 million, well, nearly 2 million rubles. But 597,000 rubles is just the delivery. So as soon as you can get your industry, your construction industry going, the better, because this is unsustainable. You can't carry on doing this. You can't just keep building out your money until you're exporting something. Okay. Another thing that you can do is you could set yourself up a cargo port, which I have, but not for construction materials as of yet. But this is grain port. So I find it quite difficult early on in the game. And I think, well, not difficult, I could do it, but I think it's a bit of a waste of time, farms and everything early on. I tend to leave that till later, until you've got loads of unemployed people, loads of space, and grain later on in the game, I find, does go quite expensive. It seems to just all of a sudden, and especially meat as well, if you don't have your own meat industry, later on in the game, sort of around, you know, the sort of 70s, late 70s, early 80s, it goes really expensive. So do make sure that you get that going as soon as you can, really. So here we are, look. Speak of the devil. There's a boat coming now, look. So 800 tons of crops we've got there, and that's cost a measly 13,000 rubles. Now, if I was to get that delivered, we can add another 5,000 rubles onto that cost. If you have it, you know, as they say, ghost delivered into the into your storage, where you've got the auto purchase. It's good in a pinch, and that's why the game does have money. It's not an entirely completely closed economy, although that is more or less what I work towards. I still like to export stuff. I still like to have money because I do like foreign vehicles. I'm British, so I'm a big fan of the British rail trains that are available on the workshop and to buy with your dollars. So money's still important, and you want to make sure that you've got enough to weather any storm, pardon the pun, and make sure that your citizens are obviously looked after. Speaking of citizens, that's essentially the stage of the game that I've reached now. So I need to build civilian facilities. So we need to get the hospital, schools, police station, courthouse, prison, obviously blocks of flats, housing, university, and then as soon as we've done that, I will need to get the food industry going, food, clothing, and meat, and construction. Sometimes I'll make sure I've got my construction done first, and then other times I'll make sure I've got my retail and food done first. But today, let's get those done right now. We'll get the construction industry up and kind of not running, so we're not going to have people, but I'm going to design it now before I do the clothes factory. Okay. So here we are at Gravel Rock, and we're going to build the constructor. Well, I'm going to. I honestly, I'm really sorry. I just don't know how to talk in it. I'm still, still pretty new to this, as you can tell. I've posted lots of videos, but I haven't done many where I'm actually properly, talking on it. But coming out, trying. I've wanted to do this for a while. So anyway, shut up, Kieran. Right, so we're going to build the construction industry right here because we've got bus station there, and I'm going to put the initial sort of. This is going to be the initial residential district. So I'm going to put shops here. Then along this strip here is going to go, sports game, going to be our cinemas, police stations, sports centres, courts, town hall, and all the other facilities that we will sort out as and when. So this is a great place to start. There's going to be a little bit of pollution coming from this, but not much in the grand scheme of things. And yeah, this will be the first developed residential area right here in District 1. But we need to get the construction industry up. A little tip for your construction as well. Even before you've got any construction materials, you want to build. I'll put this here so it's nice and on the road, but also out of the way. I'm sure you already know that if you press Control as you're rotating a building, you can make sure that it's perfectly straight. Because that was one thing when the game first came out, you couldn't do that. Or I didn't know you could do it. I can't remember which was which. And my God, did I find it so frustrating because I couldn't line anything up. It used to drive me nuts. So we'll just construct this. I've got my eye on this money. Oh my dear. Oh my God, look at that going down. That's not great. Ah well. Needs must. And if you get yourself some bulldozers and some excavators, it just means that, well, what's the best one? I think these are the same, aren't they? It just means that every time if you switch off the auto, put this up to 3 kilometers. Just means that if you do need to do some groundwork, which you will, it will use your vehicles instead of charging you money. And always build your initial roads from dirt because they are free, which is the best price. See, totally free, and it enables you to mark out and give this sort of vast blank canvas a bit of structure, so you can plan in your head a little bit better what you want to do. So yeah, I know that I'm going to build District 1 here. This is going to be, we'll have District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4, District 5. This entire peninsula here will be Severna. Severna City, and then there will be another city one day in the future here. The rest of the island is pretty, as you can see, it's pretty rocky, pretty untamed. So most of the inhabitants are going to live here on this nice river plain, this nice little inlet here. So, or should I build a construction industry there? No, we'll put it here. We'll put it at Gravel Rock. That's just some of our police responding to something at this time. Literally right now it is 10:30 in the morning and it's begun. And I live in quite a small, quite a nice little town, but God, I do live right in the centre, so obviously we hear everything. Anyway, right, so we want the gravel quarry, we'll have this one. It's quite handy, this one, because it puts out gravel instead of quarried stone. So I do find that such a bottleneck. So get this off the workshop, I believe. Because it's gravel, for God's sake. I don't really transport gravel via train, but I can't stand stuff not being connected to, when you've got the railway there and there's no railway there. You never know. Might need a train one day. But one important thing, especially if you're like me and you want to in the future make your republics absolutely huge, you want to make sure the whole ethos of this is for the way that I'm planning on playing this game is to have as least cars and vehicles, well, not cars, don't have any cars anyway really, but vehicles on the road as possible. Primarily the issue is construction, covered holes, delivering your food and things like that all around. So I'm going to make sure that I've got one store place, load of shops here which serve this entire area, and then maybe like a few non-storage shop, maybe one or two, and I will put a single distribution hub here that will only be responsible for serving those. Because I suppose it doesn't matter, obviously, the amount of vehicles. You could have 1 million vehicles, but if they're all parked up in the depot, then it's not going to cost. It's not costing you any performance. It's the pathfinding that costs you your performance. Because all them vehicles are obviously having to work out how they get in places, where they're going to go. You're also building the game as well, so you're constantly changing the world around it, essentially. So it's always having to find new ways of getting places. So I do want to try and keep that to a minimum to help with the performance, and also just the practicalities of the actual game as well, because I don't mind it not performing that good once I get, to 150,000 people. I can understand, my computer's running, an entire country kind of thing. But it's when the trucks stop delivering correctly, you start getting traffic jams. A bit like City Skylines, but almost in a way more realistic, because City Skylines is like creating that as part of the simulation, which I know this is doing that as well, but I don't know, it seems like this is doing it because that's what is happening, as opposed to City Skylines, where it's like, this is what should be happening, this is what I'm programmed, blah, 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 blah. Right, so we've got gravel, and then that will come out all along here, and then what I usually do is at the very end, I will put storage. Pop that in there, and then you want a truck loading station. You want a couple of these, especially what, if you're doing a lot of construction. Really does help, because every construction that you will do will need gravel, and lots of it as well. So the quicker them trucks can get loaded up, and the less traffic jams you'll get around it if you just help spread that out between just 2 loading stations. That are separated on the roads, because what you don't want is when you've got loads of trucks backing up, say you had a load of dumpers and they're all backed up to like here, then this gets blocked here, which blocks this here, which will then start blocking this over here. So you always want to make sure that you've got plenty of room around these kind of structures, so that the trucks are able to wait without becoming an issue for other traffic. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually see, this is why I say to have the mud roads, because another thing with this game is you don't, if you demolish it, like with most city building games, especially with City Skylines. I'm not sure about City Skylines 2. I haven't played it for very long, so I find it quite boring and a bit buggy, and it just pales in comparison to Soviet Republic. There's just no comparison in the realism. And I even think that Soviet Republic is one of the most pretty city building games as well. It's one of the only ones that I think look, really, you can make them look really real. Whereas City Skylines, it looks like a cartoon. I mean, it's everyone likes their own styles. I just don't happen to be a fan of these new games now that are that kind of like the cartoony appearance. And that's why when I first bought Soviet Republic, I was very impressed with just how realistic it looks and how pretty the light is. The only thing, obviously, we do have 2 suns, and it does tend to rise and set in the same spot, or more or less the same patch of the sky. It's strange. It's one of the little quirks of the game. We love it. You know you love it. Right, so build this. Oh no, have I not built that straight? Nah, straight. We good. Alright, so we need a cement plant. Don't want that big onking one. We'll just have this one. Oh! I didn't want to do that. There we go. Right. So we'll put him there. Comme ça. No, we're not doing that. I'm going to put it further down here, because I wouldn't mind. I want to make sure that the people can reach it from this bus stop. Look at that, like a glove. Okay. I don't want it that way around. I want it that way around. Yeah, if you press T when you're placing something, you are able to mirror it, which is also very handy for getting things the way you want them. Then we're going to have dry bulk storage in here. On this side, we'll have this one. How much is this one? That's dear. Of that one, 37,000. Plus whatever the labour is, I guess. And we'll have another one on the other side, because we want one for the panel factory. Ah! Oh, I hate it when I do that. Here we go. Right, so cement, also you need to make sure as well that it's got somewhere for coal to go into it. Because it will need coal. So I'm going to put a little storage thing here that I will auto purchase the coal from just until we get our own setup. It's just not worth, because with the aggregate with coal you need to build a gravel, like a port, aggregate port, I guess it's called, to import it. So by the time I've spent the money on doing that, I might as well just spend a tiny bit of cash to just get the bit of coal that it needs to literally build the Republic. I don't think it's a bad investment doing it that way. And also, what else will need coal? The bricks factory. That's too big. That's right. Oh, rat's nuts, I've put that. There we are. Am I going to be able to... Is that conveyor belt going to snap on? Oh! Oh! There was a bit of one just there. Ah! Oh! There we go. But that's a bit useless because I don't want the road entrance facing towards the cement plant. So now your coal is going to go to the cement factory and then also to the brick factory also. So I'm going to have to put another conveyor splitter in there. we are. It's perfectly straight. I'm not going to be able to. I might do actually. Nope. Boom. Again, the cement plant is another place where vehicles tend to back up as they are picking up cement, so we'll just give a nice little road there, although that's not really going to be on the way to anywhere, so it should be okay. So we've got the brick factory, prefab panels factory. Oh my god, that's perfect. Just need to remove this road, which isn't actually connected any road. Right, so prefab panels factory, cement plant, not bitumen, asphalt. Thank you very much for watching this video today. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one, which should be out in the next probably 24 hours, to be fair. This is a long one. I won't be surprised if you've made it this far, don't worry. But if you've signed off. But yep, thank you for giving me some of your time today. Have a good one. Ta-da!